Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today because we're jumping right into a practical, actionable masterclass on global mobility and relocation pathways. Whether you're an IT engineer, a finance executive, or a seasoned researcher looking to make an international leap, understanding exactly how governments value your skills is literally the master key to unlocking a seamless move.
So, let me ask you this directly. What if your master's degree, your current salary, and your years of experience could actually fast-track your permanent residency in a top-tier global economy in just one single year? Normally, permanent residency takes a decade of waiting, right? Well, today, we're going to look at exactly how a points-based immigration system can collapse that timeline and give you some incredible lifestyle leverage.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our step-by-step roadmap for today. We're covering the 2026 relocation landscape, decoding Japan's point system, choosing your visa category, navigating timelines and costs, hitting the fast track to PR, and finally, looking at the major trade-offs and pitfalls.
All right, Section 1, the 2026 relocation landscape.
Let's start by zooming out for a second to look at the broader global ecosystem of migration right now. If you've looked at the macro data from the World Bank on labor mobility, or if you've ever tried to navigate those massive, sprawling residence rights portals of the European Union, you know the 2026 global mobility landscape can feel incredibly overwhelming. There are endless categories, exceptions, and red tape. However, the one unifying global trend right now is a decisive shift toward merit and points-based systems. Governments are increasingly quantifying exactly what kind of talent they want to invite in.
And that brings us to the ultimate 2026 macro case study, Japan's Highly Skilled Professional, or HSP, visa. We're focusing on Japan today because its system is arguably one of the most transparent, legally precise points-based programs in the world right now. By understanding how Japan structures this specific visa, you're getting the perfect model to illustrate exactly how modern, high-tier relocation strategies actually work.
Moving on to Section 2. Let's decode Japan's point system.
So, let's get into the actual mechanics. How does a professional quantify their worth to an immigration authority? Well, this is the magic number. 70. Hitting exactly 70 points on the government's evaluation table unlocks a whole suite of legal and lifestyle privileges that are just completely unavailable on any standard work visa. Once you hit 70, you're no longer just a standard employee in the eyes of the government. You are a highly sought-after asset.
Let's gamify this for a second. I want you to instinctively calculate your own score as we go through this. If you hold a master's degree, boom, that's 20 points right there. Have 5 to 6 years of professional experience? Add another 10. Pulling in a projected salary around 6 to 7 million yen gets you 20 points. If you happen to be under 30 years old, that's 15 points. Throw in a Japanese language certification like the JLPT N2 for 10 more, and look at that. You're already sitting at 75 points. Plus, thanks to a huge points relaxation introduced in 2025, it's become so much easier for mid-career professionals to hit this threshold without needing a PhD.
All right, on to Section 3, choosing your visa category.
Once you know your points, your next critical decision is matching your actual everyday job duties to the correct legal category. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between these two paths. HSP 1B is your standard white-collar route, perfect for IT engineers, data scientists, and finance experts. All you need is a signed contract and a 3 million yen minimum salary. Simple enough. But look over at HSP 1C, the business manager route. Following a major legal tightening in October 2025, this path is now incredibly strict. You absolutely must have at least one full-time employee, 30 million yen in capital, and functional N2 Japanese. It's a completely different ballgame.
But what if you're an ultra-high earner? Say your projected salary hits 20 million yen, which is roughly 130 to 140,000 US dollars, depending on exchange rates. Well, you fall under the J-Skip track. Introduced in April 2023, this incredible track lets you bypass the point calculation entirely. You just jump straight to direct HSB2 status, which essentially grants you unrestricted work activities.
Next up is Section 4, navigating timelines and costs.
Let's shift our focus from the theory to the highly practical realities. If you're actually planning this move, you need to know the exact steps. Here is your chronological journey. Step 1, you calculate your points and secure that qualifying job offer. Step 2, your new employer submits a certificate of eligibility in Japan. Now, be realistic here. Expect this to take anywhere from 1 to 6 months depending on the city. Step 3, once that's approved, your local consulate processes the visa sticker in about 5 business days. And finally, Step 4, You fly in, enter the country, and literally collect your 5-year residence card right there at the airport.
Let's anchor this all in hard numbers. Japan's baseline visa processing fees are astonishingly low. We're talking just 6,000 yen for a status change and a 4,000 yen stamp for the physical card. Your real out-of-pocket costs are going to be document translation and, if you decide to use one, an immigration lawyer, which runs about 150 to 300,000 yen. But listen, pay close attention to this massive warning. The Japanese parliament has officially approved a huge fee hike for permanent residency applications, skyrocketing the cost up to 300,000 yen. If you qualify soon, you absolutely need to beat that deadline.
Which perfectly cues up Section 5, the fast track to PR.
Speaking of permanent residency, this right here is the primary motivation for almost every highly skilled migrant navigating the system. The contrast in waiting times is honestly staggering. On a standard Japanese work visa, the wait time for permanent residency is a grueling 10 years of continuous residence. 10 years! But on the HSP visa, if you maintain 70 points, that wait drops to just 3 years. And if you score 80 points or more, you can apply for PR in just 1 single year. This literally changes your long-term wealth and career planning.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive lifestyle trade-offs we're talking about. Aside from the PR track, achieving this status grants you a 5-year visa from day one. Your spouse gets full-time employment rights, rather than being legally restricted. You can bring your parents over to help with young children. You can even legally employ a foreign domestic worker and run related side businesses. It is a premium lifestyle package built right into your legal status.
Finally, Section 6, Major Trade-offs and Pitfalls.
Okay, I need to execute a quick pacing shift right here because this is absolutely crucial. This is a rigorous legal process, and there is absolutely zero room for error. First and foremost, 3 million yen. This is the absolute legal floor for your projected annual salary on the standard HSP categories. Listen to me on this. It does not matter if you have 100 points, 3 PhDs, and perfect Japanese. If your projected base salary falls even a single yen below 3 million, your application is instantly rejected, no exceptions.
So, what else sinks an application? Let's rapid fire through the most common ones. Inflated claims, like trying to claim points for a patent that is still pending. Your salary dropping below 3 million yen when it's time to renew. Your actual daily job duties not matching your specialization. You can't claim high-level IT engineering and then do basic clerical work. Weak financial documents from your employer, or literally any prior tax or immigration violations in Japan. The system is incredibly generous, yes, but the screening is mercilessly precise. Now, I want to share a hidden shortcut that so many people miss. It's called retroactive eligibility. If you're already living in Japan on a standard work visa, you actually do not need to switch to the HSP visa first to get the PR fast track. If you can legally prove that you would have scored 70 or 80 points 1 or 3 years ago, you can skip the HSP visa entirely and apply directly for permanent residency today. It's an absolute game changer for saving time. So, what does this all mean for you? We've decoded the macro trends, the points table, the strict timelines, and the massive benefits of fast-tracking your life abroad. The 2026 landscape heavily rewards those who plan with precision. The only question left is, are you ready to calculate your points, navigate the system, and make your move? Grab that points table, run your numbers, and start planning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time as we decode more of the world around us.